Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us here at Japan House London. My name is Julianne Robb, and I'm a programming manager here at Japan House. Thank you for joining us for this very special event exploring the sake-making craftsmanship of Nadagogō in Hyōgo Prefecture. In addition to our audience here in the hall, we're also live streaming on Zoom, so a very warm welcome to everyone joining us online. Please note that the event is being recorded and that a video will be uploaded to our YouTube channel following the event. Now, this evening's program includes a talk and a live demonstration, followed by an opportunity for you to ask questions to the speakers. For those joining us online, you're very welcome to submit your questions at any time during the event using the Zoom Q&A function. We'll conclude with a special Kagami Biraki barrel opening ceremony and a sake tasting for guests here in the hall. So before we get started, I would now like to invite Sam Thorne, the Director General and CEO of Japan House London, to say a few words of welcome. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Julianne. A very warm welcome to Japan House London. It's great to see so many of you here. First of all, thank you to our collaborators at Nadagogō Brewers Association and the Japan National Tourism Organization, JNTO. This event wouldn't have been possible without you. This evening is the first in a series of 3 events here at Japan House London, exploring the craftsmanship of sake brewing. This tradition was officially recognized about a year ago by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage. The series focuses on Nadagogō, literally the 5 villages of Nada in Hyōgo Prefecture. This is a region whose natural environment, historic trade routes, and generations of brewers' innovations have made it one of Japan's foremost sake-producing areas. In fact, I was told earlier that 1 in 4 bottles of sake produced in Japan comes from Nadagogō. So we're delighted to be joined by representatives from the Nadagogō Brewers Association. They'll be sharing their insights into skills, innovations, traditions, and culture behind sake brewing in this historic region. Takahashi Toshinari is chairperson of the Nadagogō GI Management Committee. He will be exploring the various factors that have shaped Nadagogō into the leading sake brewing hub that it is today. Nakano Masaru is head of the woodworking team at Kenbishi Sake Brewing Company, and he will give a live demonstration of komomaki, a straw wrapping technique developed in the Edo period to protect sake barrels in transit, and it's still practiced today. Before those speakers take the stage, though, please allow me to introduce Mr. Kano Kenji. Kenji-san is chairman of the Nadagogō Brewers Association, and he'll say a few words. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kenji Kano. I'm a chairman of Nadagogō Sake Breweries Association. 私はNadagogō酒造組合の理事長の加納健二と申します。いいですね。はい。本日はこのような灘のお酒の日本酒のイベントを開催しましたところ、このようにたくさんの皆様にお集まりいただきまして本当にありがとうございます。
Thank you everyone for coming today. I'm presently surprised to see so many people to come and experience sake of Nadagogō.
そして、このイベントはですね、ロンドンの大使の皆様はじめ、ロンドンの大使はじめ大使館の皆様、そしてジェトロの皆様、神戸市や兵庫県の皆様の協力に基づいて、開催されたことを嬉しく思っております。
Also, I'd like to mention our great gratitude to people from the embassy, Japanese embassy in the UK, JETRO, and also people from Hyōgo Prefecture and Hyōgo City and Hyōgo Prefecture and Kobe City.
そして、このジャパンハウスの館長のサムさん、今日はこういう素晴らしい場所を、 提供いただきましたことを本当に嬉しく思っております。
And thank you very much for Sam for preparing this wonderful venue for us.
私たち灘五号の酒蔵はですね、1700年代より日本酒を作り続けてきた伝統ある地域の集まりです。
Nadagogō is a region with rich history and tradition that has been making sake since the 1700s.
多くの酒蔵が集まるこの地域で、脈々と伝統を守りながらも多種多様な日本酒を作り続け、今では日本酒を愛する皆様にたくさん美味しいお酒を届けております。
Today it is a major sake producing area, accounting for approximately 1/4 of all sake distributed in Japan.
現在日本国内で流通する日本酒のおよそ4分の1を生産するに値しております。
As Sam mentioned earlier, 1/4 of sake distributed in Japan are coming from our region.
また後ほど説明しますけれども、Nadagogōというお酒、灘のお酒としてですね、地域呼称、いわゆる、GI Nadagogōというのを取得しております。
So we have this special name as Nadagogō as a sake brewing area, GI.
また昨年、伝統的酒造りがユネスコの無形文化遺産に登録されました。
Last year, sake brewing was recognized as a UNESCO intangible cultural heritage.
そうして世界にも認められるNadagogōのお酒、でありますので、今年行われました大阪で開かれた万博でも、たくさんの試飲の機会やイベントを催したばかりです。
The sake from our region is loved and cherished by people all over the world, and we had great opportunities to have workshops and also tasting events at the Expo Osaka this year.
ロンドンの皆様やもしくは英国の国内の皆様にもたくさん来ていただいたと記憶しております。
And I was told that people from the UK visited Expo.
たくさんの皆さんにお越しいただいて、大いに盛り上がった万博ですが、10月に、予定通り期間を終えて、非常に今寂しい限りです。
So the expo finished in October, and it was an exciting opportunity, and we are actually missing it a lot.
皆様がいなくなった日本が寂しくて、今回は私がここに参りました。
Now that it is very quiet, and I just feel so sad that I decided to come to the UK.
Nadagogōのお酒は日本でも先ほど申し上げた通り4分の1のシェアを持つ非常に人気の高いブランドが集まる地域でございます。
So, as I said earlier, 25% of sake are coming from Nadagogō. So there are so many popular brands of sake.
また日本酒は海外でも非常に人気があり、ロンドンをはじめヨーロッパの各国、そしてアメリカや中国、東南アジアでも非常に高い人気を得ております。
As you know, sake has become more and more popular in the UK and also Europe, the US, China, and Southeast Asia.
Nadagogōの酒の輸出量もまた4分の1のシェアを持っている状態です。
The export of Japanese sake, we actually have a quarter of the share of the entire export of sake.
我々Nadagogōの酒蔵たちはですね、先人たちが築いてきた技術と文化を大切に受け継いできました。
In Nadagogō, we have preserved the craftsmanship and culture with respect to our ancestors.
私たちはその原点を忘れることなく日本酒造りに誇りを持ち、真摯な姿勢でこれからも美味しいお酒造りを続けていきたいと思っております。
We will continue to approach sake brewing with pride and sincerity, never forgetting our origins.
本日はこの後Nadagogōの PR のトークセッション、そして鏡開きのセレモニーというのを実演してまいりたいと思います。
So over the next 3 days, we will be performing our sake brewing songs, barrel making demonstrations, and kagami biraki today.
イベントは今日だけではなくて、明日、明後日と、また、酒造り歌や、日本酒の酒造道具の製作なども、催している予定です。催す予定です。
So we'll be performing songs, as I said earlier, and also you'll be seeing how we make sake and also sake equipments.
今日もですね、皆さんに試飲していただける美しい日本酒の酒を準備しております。
And we have beautiful sake for you to taste today.
後ほどぜひそのボトルを手に取り、そしてまた香りや味わいを楽しみながら、最後までゆっくりとお楽しみいただければ幸いです。
So please take a glass or bottle and enjoy the aroma and flavor and enjoy every sip of sake.
はい、それでは本日どうぞよろしくお願いします。
Thank you very much and please enjoy the evening.
Thank you very much, Kano-san. I would now like to introduce you to our next speaker, Takahashi Toshinari. And Takahashi-san is chairperson of the Nadagogō GI Management Committee and also director, head of production, and director of the General Research Institute at the Kiku Masamune Sake Brewing Company in Nadagogō. He'll be speaking about the history, technical innovations, and also the environmental factors that shaped Nadagogō into the leading center of sake brewing it is today. And today, Takahashi-san will be speaking also in Japanese with interpretation by our excellent interpreter, Susan Kozue. Please join me in welcoming Takahashi Toshinari.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today at the GI Nadagogō promotion event, Understanding Japanese Craftsmanship Through the Sake Brewing Traditions of Nadagogō. My name is Toshinari Takahashi, chairperson of the GI Management Committee, and I will be your host for this 3-day seminar. I currently serve as head of production at Kiku Masamune Sake Brewery in Nadagogō, overseeing all aspects of sake brewing. I'm also engaged in research and development focusing on microorganisms such as yeast and lactic acid bacteria. I hope this seminar will help you discover the joy of the Japanese sake. This is my first visit to London in 31 years since 1994, so I'm both nostalgic and excited. As my English is not fluent, I will rely on an interpreter from here on. はい、いきます。さて、今日から3日間にわたり、Nadagogōの酒造りから日本のものづくりを読み解いていきたいと思います。
So over the next 3 days, we'll explore Japanese craftsmanship through sake brewing traditions of Nadagogō.
初日のテーマはNadagogōが、酒どころである理由です。
Today we are covering why Nadagogō is renowned as a sake brewing region.
Nadagogōがなぜ、酒どころになったのか、その理由を、6つの観点から一緒に探っていきましょう。
So let's explore the reasons together. There are 6 perspectives that we would like to examine from with you.
まず、日本を代表する、酒造地Nadagogōについて紹介させていただきます。
First, let me introduce you to Nadagogō, Japan's premier sake brewing region.
こちらの地図で、ちょっと見にくいんですけども、こちらが東京になります。
So please look at the map, and that's Tokyo.
そしてこちらが、大阪になります。
And you can see Osaka as well.
その、大阪のすぐ西隣にあるのが兵庫県です。
So just west of Osaka is Hyōgo Prefecture.
兵庫県を拡大するとこのように、海に面しており、 港町として栄えてきました。
So when you zoom in on Hyōgo, you can see it faces the sea and has flourished as a major port area.
中心都市は、神戸で、国際貿易や観光も知られています。
The capital city of Hyōgo is Kobe. It's known for the international trade and tourism.
最近では、神戸ビーフも有名ですね。
Of course, you have heard of Kobe beef, right?
はい。灘5号の、地理的位置についてもう少し詳しくお話しします。
Let me tell you a little bit more about the geographical location of Nadagogō.
このように、大阪と神戸の間で北は六甲山地、南は海に挟まれた、東西約12キロに及ぶ地域が灘5号です。
As you can see, Nadagogō spans about 12 kilometers east to west between Osaka and Kobe, nestled between Rokko Mountains to the north and the sea to the south.
現在、この5つのエリアで、26の酒蔵が酒造りを行っています。
Currently, there are 26 sake breweries operate across these 5 areas.
この地域では、約700年前から酒造りが始まりました。
Sake brewing began about 700 years ago.
先ほどの話にもありましたが、現在、全国のシェアが約 25% を誇る日本一の酒どころになっています。
As mentioned earlier, today it is Japan's premier sake producing region with a market share of 25%.
なお、ワインに比べますと日本酒造りの歴史というのは浅いです。
Compared to wine, the history of sake brewing is relatively short.
しかし、驚くことに、19世紀半ばに、パストゥールが低温殺菌法を開発していますが、日本酒の世界ではそれより、300年も前から火入れと呼ばれる低温殺菌が行われてきました。
Surprisingly, however, while Pasteur developed pasteurization in the mid-19th century, in the sake field, we'd been practicing a form of low-temperature sterilization called hiire, fire treatment for 300 years prior to that.
ではなぜ灘5号が日本一の酒どころになったのでしょうか。
So why Nadagogō became the premier sake brewing region?
灘5号の酒造りが大きく発展したのはイギリスでは産業革命が起こった18世紀半ば以降です。
So the sake brewing started in the 18th century, just after the Industrial Revolution in Britain.
灘5号には酒造りの3要素、原料、酒造用水、技術力、人が揃っていました。
Nadagogō had all 3 essential elements for sake brewing: raw materials, suitable brewing water, and craftsmanship and technology.
まず原料です。
First, the materials.
山田錦を代表とする良質な酒米を安定的に調達するための契約栽培制度、村米制度というものがありました。
We had this muramai system, a contract farming system ensuring stable procurement of high-quality sake rice, such as Yamada Nishiki.
次に酒造用水です。
Next is the brewing water.
酒造りに適した宮水を発見し、その水質保全活動を今なお続けていることです。
We discovered Miyamizu water, ideal for sake brewing, and have continued to make a great effort to preserve water quality.
最後に技術力、人です。
And people and craftsmanship.
高い酒造技術力を持つ丹波杜氏の存在は灘の酒造りにとって欠かせないものです。
The Tamba Toji master brewers with high-level sake brewing skills is indispensable to Nada's sake production.
また灘では酒造りの研究も盛んで、1917年に日本酒の製造技術の向上を目指した灘酒研究会を組織しました。
And research into sake brewing is really popular in this area. leading to the organization of Nada Sake Research Association in 1917, aimed at improving Japanese sake production techniques.
今なお、技術者と研究者が手を取り合って革新的な酒造りを行っています。
Today, sake brewers and researchers are working together to pursue innovative brewing methods.
これらの3要素に加え、山と海に挟まれた地域ならではの気候風土やその立地などが発展の原動力となりました。
Also, this unique climate and natural environment of the region, nestled between mountains and sea, along with the location itself, became driving forces for the development.
本日はこれらの観点からNadagogōの酒造りを紹介したいと思います。
So today, I would like to introduce Nadagogō's sake brewing from these topics.
Nadagogō発展の理由その1は六甲おろしです。
The first contributing factor for the development of Nadagogō is 六甲おろし。
冬は、六甲山から吹き降りてくる六甲おろしと呼ばれる冷たい北風が酒造りに適した気候をもたらしています。
六甲おろし is a cold north wind, and during winter, it's blowing down from Mount Rokko, and that makes the climate ideal for sake brewing.
こちらの酒蔵は、向こうに見える六甲山からの冷たい北風を取り込みやすくする構造になっています。
So this brewery that you are looking at now is designed to capture the cold north wind coming from Mount Rokko.
酒蔵の温度を下げたいときは北側の窓を開けて北風を取り入れ効率的に冷却換気を行うことができました。
So when we needed to lower the temperature inside, opening the north-facing windows, that would allow north winds to come in, enabling efficient cooling and ventilation.
Nadagogō発展の理由その2は六甲山からの急流な河川を利用した水車精米です。
The second contributing factor is 水車精米, which is a water wheel rice polishing, utilizing swift water flow of rivers coming from the mountains.
日本はお米が主食であり、普段食べるお米というのは玄米を、外側 10% ほど削ります。
Rice is Japan's staple food. The rice we normally eat is polished to remove about 10% of the brown rice.
しかし酒造りにおいては、酒質向上のためさらに精米する必要があります。
However, for sake brewing, polishing is necessary to improve the quality of the sake.
Nadagogōでは、精米作業の効率化と品質向上を目的として水車を活用した、精米技術が導入されました。
In Nadagogō, water wheel powered rice polishing technology was introduced to enhance the efficiency and quality of the process.
この技術導入は、酒造りにおける工程の近代化を象徴するものであり、酒質の向上にも大きく寄与しました。
This technology symbolized the modernization of the sake brewing process and contributed to improving the quality of sake.
古来より、米の精米には人力による方法が用いられてきました。
Since ancient times, manual methods have been used for rice polishing.
代表的なものとして杵と臼を利用した方法があります。
One of the widely used methods is to use pestle and mortar.
これは、石製の臼に米を入れ木製の杵でつくことで精米するというものです。
This involves placing rice in a stone mortar and pounding it with a wooden pestle to polish.
この作業はシーソーのような構造を持つ装置を用いて行われてきました。
Originally, this work was done with a device with a seesaw-like structure.
片側に杵を取り付け、反対側に人が乗ることで杵を上下させ、臼の中の米をつくという仕組みです。
It worked by attaching the pestle to one side and having a person sit on the other side to move the pestle up and down, pounding the rice with the mortar.
しかしながら、この方法には多くの人手を要する上、作業時間にも制約がありました。
But this method required significant manpower and was constrained by working hours.
人力による作業であるため、長時間の連続稼働は困難であり、効率面では限界がありました。
It was a complete manual labor, so the continuous operation was difficult and it just was not efficient at all.
そこで灘5号では六甲山系の河川から小屋に水を引き込み、その中で水車を回転させることで杵を上下に移動させる仕組みを考案しました。
So we devised a system to draw water from the rivers from the mountains into brew houses where water wheels would automatically move the rice pounders.
このように河川の水を動力として活用することで昼夜を問わず精米作業を継続することが可能となりました。
By utilizing the river water as power, it became possible to continue rice polishing operations throughout day and night.
水車は自然の力を利用した持続可能な動力源であり、江戸時代の技術としては非常に先進的でした。
This is a very sustainable method and highly advanced technology for the Edo period.
灘5号発展の理由3つ目は、酒造りに適した六甲山の伏流水、宮水の存在です。
The third contributing factor for the development is Miyamizu, the subsoil water from Mount Rokko that is ideal for sake brewing.
宮水は1840年に酒造家である山村太左衛門によって発見されました。
This Miyamizu was discovered in 1840 by the sake brewer Yamamura Taizaemon.
彼は同じ米、同じ人で仕込んでも酒の出来に差ができることに疑問を抱きました。
He wondered why the quality of sake was different even when using the same rice and same people for brewing.
その原因を探る中で最終的に水の違いにたどり着いたのです。
In his search for the reason, he came across the fact that water could make such a huge difference.
西宮郷の一部地域で汲まれる水が酒造りに適していることを突き止めたのです。
He pinpointed that water drawn from the area within Nishinomiyago was particularly well suited for sake brewing.
酒造りにおいて水は米と並んで大変重要な原材料です。
In sake brewing, water is an extremely important ingredient alongside rice.
精米された白米 1kg、仕込み水で 1.4 リッターでお酒を作ると約 1.8 リッターになります。
So when brewing sake using 1 kilo of polished white rice and 1.4 liter of brewing water, the final product yield about 1.8 liters.
このように清酒醸造の仕込みには大量の水が必要になります。
So you can tell a large amount of water is required for sake brewing.
また洗米、浸石、蒸し等の原料処理工程でも大量の水が必要となります。
Substantial water is also required for processing steps such as rice washing, soaking, and steaming.
さらに、醸造工程が多いため、酒造用具の洗浄に大量の水が必要となります。
And also due to the numerous brewing steps, large volume of water are needed for cleaning the equipment.
したがって良質な水が豊富に得られる場所が求められることになります。
So location with a lot of water and high quality water are essential.
宮水はこちらの六甲山から流れ出る伏流水です。
Miyamizu is the subsoil water flowing from Mount Rokko.
主な特徴はミネラルが豊富ということです。
It's very rich in minerals.
六甲山からの伏流水はかつて海だった地層を通り抜けます。
This water from Mount Rokko flows through the former marine strata.
そのためカルシウム、カリウム、リンなどのミネラルが豊富な水となるのです。
That's why it is rich in minerals such as calcium, potassium, and phosphorus.
このようなミネラル分は酵母の発酵を促進してくれます。
These minerals promotes the fermentation.
またお酒の着色の原因となる鉄分が少ないという特徴も持ち合わせています。
It also contains very low level of iron, which is a cause of coloration of sake.
これは実際の宮水の井戸場になります。
This is the actual well of Miyamizu.
井戸場の隣には高速道路や民家があり、いわゆる町の中に湧き出る地下水です。
You can see motorways and houses near the well. It's actually a groundwater that spring up right in the middle of the town.
宮水はおおむね地下2から5メートルの浅い地層を流れている地下水です。
Miyamizu is groundwater that generally flows through shallow strata about 2 to 5 meters below the surface.
このような街中で足元から2から5メートルの地下にきれいな水が流れているというのは何とも不思議な感覚です。
It feels really amazing and strange at the same time to see such clean water flowing just 2 to 5 meters underground right beneath your feet.
実際に覗いてみるとこんな感じで、地面から2メーターほどのところに透明なきれいな水が見えます。
So when you look down the well, you can see clear water about 2 meters down.
灘5号発展の理由4つ目は海に面した立地です。
The fourth contributing factor for the development is the location by the sea.
灘の日本酒が大きく広まった江戸時代、出来上がった日本酒は杉樽に詰められました。
During the Edo period, when Nada's sake gained widespread popularity, the sake was stored in cedar barrels.
そして樽海船と呼ばれる日本酒の運搬専用の船によって大消費地である江戸へ運ばれました。
It was then transported to Edo, which is now called Tokyo, on ships called Taru Kaisen.
そのため江戸で人気を博した灘の酒はすべて樽の香りがついた酒だったということです。
As a result, all the Nada sake that became popular in Edo had the aroma of cedar barrels.
杉樽は運搬容器だったのですが、今なお杉の香りのついたお酒は樽酒として愛飲されています。
These barrels were originally just containers, but sake with the scent of cedar is still loved today as barrel sake.
海に接する立地は海上輸送にも有利な環境だったということです。
So this location provided Nadagogō a great advantage for the transport.
灘5号発展の理由5つ目は、播州地方の良質な酒米を安定的に調達できる仕組みを作ったということです。
The fifth contributing factor for the development was the establishment of a system to stably procure high-quality sake rice from the Banshu region.
灘5号では1800年代終わり頃から隣接する播州地方の酒米生産地と独自の契約栽培制度を確立しました。
In Nadagogō, around the late 1800s, a unique trading system was established with sake rice producers in the neighboring Banshu region.
それが村米制度という酒米取引制度です。
This is called the Muramai Seido, Muramai system.
この制度により播州地方から良質な酒米を安定的かつ大量に入手できたことで生産量が増加しました。
This system enabled the stable and large-scale procurement of high-quality sake rice from the region, leading to increased production volumes.
こちらは山田錦を栽培されている契約栽培の農家の方々です。
So these are the farmers of Yamada Nishiki rice.
山田錦が順調に育っているので皆さんいい顔されてますよね。
Yamada Nishiki is growing well, so everybody looks happy.
今なお酒蔵と農家の方々が良好な関係を保ちながら手を取り合って酒造りを行っています。
So breweries and farmers have maintained strong relationships, working hand in hand to produce sake.
灘5号発展の理由最後の6つ目は丹波杜氏に代表される酒造りの技術です。
The sixth contributing factor for the development is the craftsmanship of Tamba Toji, the master brewers.
丹波杜氏とは南部杜氏、越後杜氏とともに日本三大杜氏の一つに挙げられる酒造技術集団です。
The Tamba Toji is a group of master sake brewers, one of Japan's three major Tojis, alongside Nambu Toji and Echigo Toji.
普段は農業に従事していますが、農閑期には出稼ぎとして灘5号で酒造りを行っていました。
In the old days, they were farmers during the farming season, and they would travel to Nadagogō during the off-season.
彼らは灘5号の気候風土を知り尽くすだけでなく、高度な醸造技術を有していました。
Not only they knew the climate and soil of Nadagogō inside and out, but also had advanced brewing techniques.
その結果、灘5号らしいしっかりした味がありながら、後味のキレの良い日本酒を醸してきました。
As a result, they brewed sake with this characteristic robust flavor, and yet with a very clean and crisp finish.
この写真は丹波杜氏の技の代名詞ともいえる元すりという作業です。
This image shows the motosuri process, the hallmark technique of Tanba Toji.
この丹波杜氏の技については明日のセミナーで詳しくお話しさせていただきます。
I'll talk more about this technique in tomorrow's session.
最後に灘5号が発展した理由のまとめです。
So here's the summary of the contributing factor for the development of Nadagogō.
このような酒造りの3要素である原料、酒造用水、技術に加え、気候風土や立地などの条件が揃い、酒造りの聖地になったということです。
So Nadagogō became a major brewing area with these three essential elements: raw materials, brewing water, and craftsmanship, and also great ideal climates and natural environment and location.
以上で本日のセミナーを終了したいと思います。
Thanks very much for listening.
皆様ご清聴どうもありがとうございました。
Thank you very much.
Just wait. ちなみに、こちらは9月に講談社という出版社から発売された日本酒の科学という本です。
Last but not least, let me add, this is a book titled Science of Sake, published in September by Kodansha.
私が監修をしております。
And I worked as a supervisor and consultant.
今は日本語版しかないんですけども、いずれ英語版を出版できればという夢を抱いております。
Currently, it's only available in Japanese, but one day I hope there will be an English version.
本日はどうもありがとうございました。
Let me know if you're interested, and thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Takahashi-san. So next we have a live demonstration of komomaki. And these are the straw coverings that you often see wrapped around sake barrels, originally to protect the sake during transport, and over time also used to display each brewery's logo. And even today, this process is done entirely by hand, and today we have a very rare opportunity to see this craft in action. So the demonstration will be presented by Nakano Masaru, who is a cooper and head of the woodworking team at the Kenbishi Sake Brewing Company. Please welcome Nakano-san.
皆さんこんばんは、県美酒造の中野勝です。よろしくお願いします。
Good evening, everyone. I am Nakano Masaru from Kenbishi Sake Brewing. Nice to meet you, everyone.
はい、まず酒樽について説明します。酒樽の部材は3つあります。丸い形をした蓋と底の板、そして、側面の板、そして竹です。
First, let me explain the sake barrel and its structure. A sake barrel consists of three main components: a set of round top and bottom, side panels, and bamboo.
接着剤や鉄釘を使わずに木材を精密に加工して曲面のシルエットを作り、竹タガで締めることで液体が漏れない構造になっています。酒樽は一つ一つ手作りで作っています。
Without using adhesives or iron nails, the wood is precisely shaped to form curved surfaces. These are then bound tightly with bamboo hoops to create a leak-proof structure. Each sake barrel is handcrafted individually.
また側面の板は、奈良県の吉野杉を使っていて、杉の香りがお酒に移り、美味しい樽酒になります。
The side panels are made from Yoshino cedar from Nara Prefecture, allowing the cedar's aroma to infuse into sake, resulting in very delicious barrel-aged sake.
今 今日実演に使う樽は樽の中でも一番大きい4等樽といって 1.8 リットルの瓶が40本入っています。
So this barrel used for today's demonstration is called Yonto Daru, 4-to barrel. It's the largest type of barrel. It's capable of holding 40 bottles of sake, each bottle containing 1.8 liters of sake.
今日は実演用なので、樽の中は空の状態です。
Sadly, it is empty today because it's for the demo.
通常お酒を入れますと約90キロになります。
And when filled with sake, it typically weighs about 90 kilos.
菰も、そちらの菰も縄も、藁で編んで作っています。
So both komo, the covering, and ropes are made by weaving straw.
菰巻きは酒樽に菰を巻きつけることで、輸送の時に樽の破損を防ぐために、作られております。
We wrap the barrels to prevent damage during transport.
はい、では実演に移ります。
Let's move on to the demo. Right, first place the komo, the straw cover, over the barrel and wrap it so that the brand is centered. And insert the foam, now he's wrapping the foam between the komo and the barrel. And this protects the barrel from damage. And it also gives the finished barrel a stable appearance. The added dimension creates a very solid and stylish look. So the foam is done, right? And then wrap with the komo. And secure the komo with a straw rope. So we have to secure the barrel's position firmly before wrapping it. Then we need to carefully shape the bottom and top, and making sure the logo will come in the center. And we need to stretch the komo by pinching and pulling, as you can see now. So pull the komo tightly. And secure the komo like this. So secure the komo tightly, as you can see. So shaping the bottom part now. Right. So, and then we secure the komo with a tojinawa, a closing rope. This is used to fasten the covering komo. And we use a red piece of red paper, and that you'll see later on, and we're going to explain when he gets to that stage. Right, here's the red paper that serves as a seal guaranteeing the sake's quality. So we use 2 seals, and this is the first one. So finishing the bottom part. And moving on to the top. So starting from the top, which is known as the kagami, it's practically meaning mirror, and then we shape and weave the form. Then we loop the rope, as you can see. Pass it through the komo like sewing and wrapping it around as you go. And we need to pull the rope tightly like this. And the pattern that Nakano-san is working on right now is Kikko Monyo, turtle shell pattern, which is inspired by the image of a turtle, and it's a symbol of good fortune. So this is the Kikko Monyo. Then after this, he's going to add the red paper, the second red paper as a seal. So you can see the patterns forming at the top. Make sure everything's tight and secure. And here comes the red seal. So the Kikko Monyo is almost finished. And please take a look. Right, now onto the bottom part. So again, he's shaping it as he goes, threading the rope again into the komo. Like this. Right. So the rope he's using now is becoming a handle when you move the barrel. So it's very sturdy and thick, and we need to tie it securely so that the knot wouldn't come undone. So it has to be really tight and secure. それが持ち手ですね。Right, so that's the handle part. So as you can see, it's very sturdy and thick. Need to make sure that it's tied properly and securely. So we use leverage. We leverage the weights of the contents to lift and tighten the rope. Then tie to the side. And cross the ropes over the handle part. So these thick ropes are bound together and secured firmly and tighten the barrel, covering even more. So you can see how sturdy it is, and you use the weight to tie the rope. And then we use weight to roll the barrels as well. We use gravity. Oh, that's the bin for the rubbish. It's nice to keep your workplace tidy, right? Very efficient. So we are adding the side ropes. Right. And again, this is to secure the komo. So just go around on the side of the barrel. Make sure the ropes are tightened securely. Recently, plastic komodaru barrels have become more common, but some breweries in the region is still dedicating themselves to make proper komodaru making. This stems from a desire to preserve this uniquely Japanese cultural practice, as you can see. Since ancient times in Japan, people have cultivated rice, used surplus rice to brew sake, and offered it to the gods with gratitude. At the time, they made shimenawa, sacred straw ropes from rice stalks, and decorated sake barrels like this. And we are working hard to pass on this tradition to the next generation. Almost there. Just have to roll the barrel and shape it with mallet, as you've just seen. And add some ropes to, again, further secure the barrel. Remember, it weighs 90 kilos when there's sake inside. And make it tidy. And he's making sure to show the logo right in the middle, frame it by these ropes. So crisscrossing as you go along, like that. Making sure everything's in the right place. Complete. Thank you. So please give a big round of applause to Takano-san.
Thank you very much, Nakano-san, for that fantastic and very energetic demonstration. We now have a little time for questions from the audience, so I would like to invite also Takahashi-san back to the stage. And if you do have any questions here in the hall, please do put up your hand and we'll bring a microphone over to you. Is there any questions in the hall today? Do I see any hands up? Oh, yes. So there is a hand up at the back, on the back row on the right. So we're just bringing a microphone to you so that everybody also online can also hear the question.
Thank you. This was very beautiful. We missed the beginning. I wanted to ask in terms of visions of sustainability. Are there any conversations around in Japan in terms of how water is being utilized for producing sake?
日本酒っていうのは、本当にサステナビリティという点では、最初お米を削ります。で削った周りの、米の粉っていうものは、食料品とかの材料になります。で、それから削ったお米でお酒を作ります。でお酒を作るときに絞った酒粕っていうのも出てくるんですけども、それも食用として使われますので、捨てるところがないというか、ずっとそれを昔から続けているというとこ
Sake
ろで
making is actually very sustainable. So we start with polishing rice, and we use the polished powder for food ingredients. And then we make sake. And again, sake waste is actually used for food ingredients, so we don't waste anything.
Thank you very much. Do we have any more questions from the audience today? Let's see. So I think, yes, we have one more on the third row from the back. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. So we're just bringing the microphone to you.
Hello, thank you very much for the demonstration, the talk. I know that some sake brewers are introducing new flavors and adding yuzu and other fruits to them. Are you doing something similar?
ですね、まだ我々はやってないですけども、今日本の中でもそういうことにチャレンジしているところが多くて、やはりこれから、世界へとか、若い方へ向けてはそういう、フレーバーをつけたようなお酒なんかも作っていきたいとは考えています。
Our brewery hasn't tried yet, hasn't done the challenge yet, but I think, yeah, there's always a possibility for the younger people or people abroad might enjoy new types of sake, and we are actually open for the big challenge.
実際にやってる坂倉さんもありますので。
And yeah, I know quite a few breweries are trying these flavored sake.
Thank you. And we have a question from online from Lisa Stewart Iwasa, who's said, sake goes hand in hand with Japanese culture and history. How do the brewers of Nadagogō region plan to engage the younger generation of sake consumers to keep the beverage relevant and enticing?
そうですね、若い人というか、やはり今流れ的にはアルコール度数の低いお酒っていうのがやっぱり好まれるというか、健康の面も含めてですね、だからやっぱりちょっとアルコール度数が低いお酒っていうところが今、日本の中では取り組まれているところですかね。特に甘いお酒がいいとかそういう感じではなくて、飲みやすい低アルコールっていうのは増えてると思います。はい。
Low alcohol content, low alcohol sake. Younger people tend to like. I think they're more healthy than the older generation. I think, so they're very health conscious. So we are trying to make more low alcohol sakes, not just a sweet sake, but something easy to drink.
Thank you. And I think we have one more question on the front row, so we'll take that as the last question. So if we could bring the microphone down to the front row here.
Thank you. How many people does Nadagogō employ in their organization? And do they have an age limit? I mean, do they retire at a certain age?
リタイアはあります。あります。ただ全部が全部じゃなくて本当にずっと残ってる人もいますし、うちの蔵でももう80過ぎた人は名誉杜氏として後進の育成を行っているというところですね。実際現場は結構しんどいんで、はい。
Yes, we do have retirement age, but there are actually a lot of people who want to stay in the brewery. And in our brewery, there's this grandmaster brewer who's 80 years old, and he's very healthy, fit, and keen to train and teach younger generation.
酒造りの ちょっと正確には分からないですけど、例えば、さっきも言いましたけど、我々みたいな研究者みたいな人だけでも、80人ぐらいいますから、酒造りやってる人は本当に何百人だろうな、500人から1000人ぐらいはいるんじゃないですかね。
So no, I haven't counted every single person, but I think researchers, there are about 80 researchers around, and I think we count people who are involved in sake making, I would say about 500 people or maybe 1,000.
So you both work in different sake breweries, the Kikumasamune and also the Kenbishi. Are they similar sizes, and how many people work in each of the breweries?
はい、自分は県美酒造なんですけども、県美酒の方ではお酒自体はもうすごい熟成した古酒を作っております。結構、食中酒にすごく合うお酒だと思っています。自分の中ではどんな、食べ物でも合うと、思っております。はい。
In my brewery, Kenbishi, we make mature sakes, and the main characteristics is it's good for any sort of food. It goes with any meal, I think.
いや、実際本当にちっちゃい蔵と大きい蔵といったら、灘の中でも100倍とかの差はあると思います、作ってる量が。
So if we compare a very small brewery and really large brewery in Nadagogō, the difference in scale is about 100 times. So the bigger ones 100 times bigger than the smaller ones in terms of employees and production. So there are a lot of very different brewers.
Thank you very much. And there'll be an opportunity to try, for those of you in person anyway, various sake from the different the breweries in Nadagogō today and over the next the 3 days here in Japan House. So I think that's all we have time for the Q&A, but I'd like to say a huge thank you to both Takahashi-san and Nakano-san. So while that's all the time we have for the Q&A, the event is not quite over. We're now very lucky to be able to enjoy a second craft demonstration as Nakano-san is going to be preparing for the Kagami Biraki barrel opening ceremony. So Nakano-san's going to begin with the barrel that was wrapped in straw earlier, and he will prepare it for this ceremony.
Right, what a shame you have to actually open it. It's just made it. But we have to prepare for the Kagami Biraki ceremony. So just you have to cut all the ropes. So once we cut the top ropes, we tidy and tighten the komo. So let us talk about the history of komodaru that you're looking at and the origin of Kagami Wari ceremony. So the komodaru that you're looking at, since the Edo period, Nada sake was popular as kudari sake, downstream sake, which means sake produced in the Hyōgo, Osaka, and Kyoto area and transported to Tokyo for sale and consumption. But back then, the 1.8 liter bottles, ishobin, what we call ishobin, didn't exist. So the sake was transported in these barrels. At first, it was transported overland by horseback, but that turned out to be far too slow to catch up with the consumption. So they began transporting it by ship. And there were cargo ships called higaki kaisen. Even that became insufficient, so they switched to a dedicated exclusive sake cargo ship called tarukaisen, meaning barrel transport ships. So yes, so that's the straw covering the komo was protecting barrels during transportation, but gradually these various designs were painted onto them to distinguish one from other, showing the brand names. So you fold the komo in like that to make it look tidy. So kagami biraki, kagami, some of you might know what the word kagami means. It means mirror. And why mirror in a sake barrel? The lid of the barrel is flat and round and similar to a mirror. So it's been called kagami. So opening the kagami and share the sake is now called kagami biraki. And when we open the mirror, kagami, it also opens luck. So it's a very lucky event to bring luck and fortune to all involved. You need to make sure the lid, the kagami part, is completely revealed and tidy. So now you need to remove the lid by doing this. So he's lowering down the openings. So tap the size of the lid like this. Check the precision. So this will lift the lid. And here comes a spatula to lift the lid. We need to make sure it's the right side up and facing the right direction. Precision, precision. And put the lid back on. And ready to go. Double check. Good. Okay.
Thank you very much, Nakano-san. We're now going to be moving on to the barrel opening ceremony itself. So we're just getting the stage ready. Let's see, setting out the mallets which will be used to open the barrel. So now let me introduce the participants who will perform the Kagami Biraki today. First, we have Maeda Shuji, who's the Minister for Public Diplomacy and Media at the Embassy of Japan in the UK. Thank you very much. Please come up to the front. Next, we have Nozaki Akira, who's Minister for Financial Affairs at the Embassy of Japan in the UK. And we also have Yura Hideo, Director General of JETRO London. And then Kano Kenji, who you've of course met before, Chairman of the Nadagogō Brewers Association. And lastly, we have Sam Thorne, the Director General and CEO of Japan House London. So I think we're now ready to perform the Kagami Biraki. So we would like to invite everyone to join in this customary call that accompanies the barrel opening. So the call is yoisho, yoisho, yoisho. So shall we practice together? So after a count of 3, 2, 1, so everybody, if you can repeat that with me, it's yoisho, and it gets louder at the final yoisho. So 3, 2, 1. Yoisho, yoisho, yoisho. Thank you very much. So next time it'll be it's a real thing. It's the honban. So we'll do the call this time. And I would like to invite our 5 very special guests to tap the lid with the mallet to open the barrel, which will symbolize a wish for everyone's good fortune and happiness. So please join me in our final call. 3, 2, 1. Yoisho, yoisho, yoisho. Thank you very much. And with that, the barrel has been opened. Thank you very much. So that concludes today's event here in the hall, but a huge thank you to all of our presenters and all of our participants of the Kagami Biraki ceremony today, and to our presenters Kano Kenji, Takahashi Toshinari, and Nakano Masaru. Thank you very much. Thank you also to all of our friends from the Nadagogō Brewers Association working very hard behind the scenes to make this event possible, to our partners at JNTO, and to our interpreter, Etsuzan Kozue.